Hi and welcome to this Digerati Dom video in which we're going to take a guided tour of how you can use Facebook to support a social media presence for your school. We're going to start by looking at my page that we've got for Costello Technology College and just really take you through what we've actually got, how we've achieved it, and sort of the input that that's having with regard to how we're shaping its use within school. So, as you can see, I think with regard to social media presence, Facebook I think is becoming increasingly important in terms of just being able to disseminate information out to both students and parents and the wider community. And I think what's really nice about it is that it's dipping our toes into the world outside of school in which our parents and our students live, and therefore we do tend to get quite good levels of engagement. And I think what's really important is how we're starting to link different social media together. So for example, we've got a YouTuber account, we embed our YouTube activity back into our Facebook account for the school. We've also got an official Twitter presence for the school. Facebook is linked in with Twitter, so we only really manage our Twitter in terms of posting to our wall, because we post to Twitter and therefore it automatically updates on the wall, as you can see by these little icons down here showing that they're Twitter, which means that you can actually share your Twitter account with lots of different staff in school and still get Facebook content out into the public arena, which is really, really important. So what I'd like to do is just really sort of take you through the different elements we've got. Obviously we've got our standard wall, we've got our photo area, and there's a little trick that you can put to actually get your photos up here, which is nice because that's very much a marketing tool that you can actually start going through. As you can see, we've got a number of what we call likes. These are our sort of favourite likes, so things like revision sites, CEOP for reporting any abuse or bullying online, very, very important. Anything else that you would want to be putting on, you can do that on your likes. On the right hand side, obviously I'm logged on at the moment, so I can see who the admins are. Try and keep that down to a minimum. I can adjust my notifications, I can look at my analytics to see what sort of posts are actually getting good interest from people that are following and liking us. And we've got the different areas, so we've got our wall, we've got information, and it links in with Google Maps and so on. We haven't got any friends, so we've got no friend activity. We've got the YouTube app on Facebook, so it pulls in our YouTube channel, and that looks really, really nice. And obviously we've got discussions, our photos. This is the photo gallery that we use to actually populate the area at the top. And importantly, we've got something called a comments policy, and that's basically how we manage our page in terms of how we state our right to moderate comments, etc., etc. So that's quite an interesting one. And then we've got our newsletter, which means that people can come here and they can actually subscribe to it, and it pushes it out to their email. So far, just under 650 people liking the site. People sort of using Facebook Places as well to check in when they visit the school, and obviously you've got your feeds and so on. So just looking at the back end of it in terms of management of the page. Let me just go through here. I'm going to use Facebook as page. Now, when you're actually an admin, you can go up to your accounts now and actually use Facebook as page. So I can switch. So I'm actually using the page now as the accounts. All the postings done as this. So I'm going to start the tour if I want to go through. And what I'm actually going to do is just quickly edit the page and take you through a couple of things that we've got here. Firstly, on our settings, make sure that you always comment and post as the page rather than using individual accounts, and set up your email notifications. If you want people to get to your Facebook presence, and lots of you will want to have facebook.com/your name of your school for the URL, for you to do that you have to have at least 25 people liking the page first. So you need to do that first before you can actually get your URL actually in post. Make sure that you've got it on 13 plus for anyone, so that you don't have to log on to actually see all the content. And you may want to start up by just not having other users being able to post any content until you're happy with how you want to moderate it. Make sure that if you are letting posts go through, that you've got the profanity block list on strong. Any other words that slip through, you could obviously then go back and populate onto your moderation blacklist. You may want to put teachers' names in there, for example. Basic information. Again, this is what's in the profile, so you can get your username, and you can also access this from the resources page when you can actually select a username, but you can only do that once, and make sure that you do it very, very carefully. We talked about the featured likes, so you can actually feature other Facebook pages and they appear on the left hand side, so you can actually take those in and out. Things that might be topical, for example, with things like, the Olympics in 2012, you might want to be putting things in here. Manage your admins, manage your apps, and these are the apps that we've currently got in, and I'll quickly take you through. Obviously photos, links, so links out to other websites, events if you want to actually run events through Facebook to engage with people, obviously video, the notes, our YouTube, discussion boards, our policy there for making comments, questions. We also have a Flickr account for the school, and that's really nice because it means that someone might be out on a field trip. If they've got access to our Flickr account, they post them straight in, gets propagated out through the social networks. And obviously we've got the Twitter app as well, and that's all we use in terms of managing our presence on Facebook. We can give those details out with regards to mobile email to staff if they need to post something straight from a field trip. And that's quite nice because we can actually do that without having to give them the log-on credentials for Facebook, so there's quite a lot we can do there. And obviously you get your insights as well, and this is quite interesting to look at in terms of active users. So in terms of sort of monthly active users, probably about 230, 240 at the moment. You can see that weekly users varies quite considerably. You do get spikes with people checking it on certain days. And obviously you can export that and do lots of different analysis of that data if you wish to. You can look at what posts are particularly interesting, looking at the demographics, for example, of the people that are liking the page. So it's quite interesting that the social media really tends to engage females a bit more than the boys, and again, lots of statistics there. So hopefully if we just go back to the page, that gives you an overview of how we set it up. In terms of how we use it, important notices go out because we put them on Twitter. We use Hootsuite, which is a cloud-based third-party plugin, if you like, for Twitter, to actually schedule tweets. So we've got everything that's in the school calendar scheduled to go out. So there's lots of things that keep the wall page busy. We make sure that we showcase things from our YouTube channel back in, linking out, for example, to other revision resources, all sorts of things, just to try to keep a really dynamic and engaging content for both parents and students, because actually that at the end of the day is going to actually make the difference in terms of how this then gets a little bit more weight behind it. And I think the big justification for doing it is that it acts as a honeypot for those of the students in particular who maybe want to set up their own groups for school. As an official presence, people tend to use this rather than setting up their own Facebook groups. So I hope you've enjoyed that quick tour. Watch out for the other video that's going to go through and show you the process of getting all this actually set up.